All right, we're on.
We are on.
Welcome
Finally,
to the
summer edition of our award-winning podcast.
Definitely award-winning.
It's been a while.
I really know this one.
How long has it been? Like 3-4 months?
5 months. We did this right before baseball.
We got a lot to go over.
Lots. And I know there's a lot of people just dying for this podcast.
Millions of fans out there.
Yeah.
Zach, you're looking pretty buff in the tank top, man.
Thanks, man. You look buff in your shirt.
Thanks.
So I know one guy that's really interested and loves this video cast is Zach Reeves.
Hey, friend of the pod, shout out to Zach Reeves, man. Even though he never gets back to me when I text him about trades. Still love you, Zach. I'm still going to harass you. All right, so what are we jumping into here?
So first, since we haven't talked since March, we need to recap basketball.
And my incredible draft and run that I had.
Speaking to the champion right now.
Feels good, man. It's been a long time.
Record?
I think I lost 4.
Okay.
So what does that be?
Did you lose at all in the final 14, 15 weeks? Weren't most of your losses the beginning of the year, or did you lose one in the second half?
Yeah, I think the second half I think I lost 1 in the second half.
Okay.
Because that's when like Mark Williams, who's the guy from Houston? Amen. Those guys started picking it up.
So your team was pretty freaking good. Not as good as that undefeated team from the year before.
You know, I'd put them up against it.
Just had to throw it in there.
I'd put them up against it.
There's not much to. It's like talking about Jordan versus LeBron. It's not even.
Oh, jeez.
So,
here you go.
Anyway, shout out to Vituli too, because he finally made the championship, and maybe if he would have had Wemby, things might have been a little different.
They would have been a little different for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Vituli. He's been grinding in this basketball league for a long time, man. Like hovering around the bottom, but he finally put it together this year.
And he'll make a full recovery. So Vituli should be back, but we'll get into basketball season for next year in our fall video cast. When we do the basketball lottery. But yeah, this edition, we got basketball on tap, baseball. We're gonna highlight for the first time a league manager or a league owner, a team owner, and we are going to talk about Ryan Henthorn today.
H-Train.
Then we're going to get into the football draft, and then we are going to do, at the end, the lottery. So, anyway, back to basketball really fast. So, yeah, next month we'll do the lottery. The first regular season game starts, I think, October 18th. And then, so we'll figure it out, but more to come then. Kev, congratulations on the championship.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming.
And people will get, whoever is in the basketball league, I will be sending a text out probably a couple weeks into the football season. I'm going to put double bonuses to a vote of possibly keeping it the same or lowering it like all the rest of the bonuses. So
wait, double or triple?
Triple, actually, you're right.
So
we'll talk about that. Well, now we would actually have to talk about it now because I'll be sending. So basically, whether we're gonna keep the triple-double bonus at 20 points. Option 2 would be lowering it, cutting it in half to 10 points. Now, keep in mind, when someone gets a triple-double, they also get the double 5-point bonus. So really, when someone gets a triple-double, their bonus is 25 points. So, but for the triple-double alone, keep it at 20, lower it to 10, lower it to 5, or someone actually talked about getting rid of all bonuses and just everyone just scores what they get. And if that was the case, that would be for all leagues. So if that were to win, that would win out for all leagues. So we might as well do that for baseball and football as well. Anyway, so more will come in that text. There'll be instructions on how to vote, but I'm not going to wait for everybody to chime in. If someone doesn't want to reply, that means someone doesn't want to vote, and we'll just go with what we have. So if only 7 of us vote and it's 4-3 and something, then that's what we'll go off with, because I'll give a deadline. So I want to get this done before the lottery. Huh?
Let's talk about something really important here.
Okay.
The last time we did this podcast, you and I both had different haircuts.
Oh, I don't think I always wore a hat, but yeah.
You had your dreads,
off, bro.
I had my longer hair, gave the summer cut with the buzz. Way easier.
Yeah, but how sexy are we that we still have hair in our 40s?
So hot. Dude, we're so hot.
Yeah.
You know who has a good head of hair? Shout out to Chris Olsen. Great head of hair.
I don't think I've ever seen Chris's face in my life.
He has a punchable face, but great hair.
Maybe he should actually be a guest, possibly our next podcast.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Great insight from Olsen.
Who is joining the football league, by the way. But and he's a part of the trifecta club, which about 2/3 of this league is. So,
that's an exclusive club to be a part of.
Part of all 3 leagues. So. All right. Well, yeah. So that's basketball. On the currently in baseball right now, we got again yours truly leading the league, 17-3. But there's some other teams that are, I feel, just as good as me. They may not have the record to show it, but have a chance to win the championship. Here's a rundown currently of the standings in our league right now, and I don't know. It's going to be competitive in the playoffs.
So who's fighting for that last spot?
Trevor technically is still alive, so it's between Nash and Trevor.
Okay.
Nash would have to lose the last 2. Trevor would have to win the last 2 for Trev to get in. It looks like, yeah, it's up to Nash and Trevor, and the rest of us are just playing for placing. And yeah, that's what it is.
Is this our 5th baseball league or 4th?
5th.
Dang. This is only the 2nd time I've made the playoffs in baseball. Man, I've been bad at baseball.
No, this one thing that's the most surprising for me, what I thought at the beginning of the year, is Reeves's team. Like being 6-14. I would say Reeves, and we're not going to highlight Reeves today, but Reeves's team, Reeves seems like he always has teams that he drafts pretty well, and then his team sucks. Injury or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think we were looking at this ahead of the season, and I think that we were kind of saying that Reeves might have had like the best overall group of keepers. Right?
Yeah.
Or top 3 at least.
Keepers. He drafted all right.
Yeah. Just some bad luck, man.
Corbin Burns, especially.
I know Carroll got off to a slow start. Henderson got off to a slow start.
Didn't have Acuna for the first 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give Chris a shout out joining the league. And 5-15 is nothing to shake your stick at. But he's getting it, and he told me that he's joining again next year, but he might need some help learning some players. But he's doing a good job. Brad's another team that's, I thought he had good players too, but maybe a little lack of pitching is what hurt him.
Yeah, pitching's tough these days, man. Complete games are super rare nowadays, and pitchers seem like they get hurt all the time. So every time my guys go, I always look, because I'm like, please don't have a day-to-day there. Please don't say you have some elbow issue or forearm tightness or something like that.
Right. And it used to be in these baseball leagues where pitchers were viewed that as if they score higher. But really, when you looked into it, Kevin, you and I figured out that it's about even. And so take out the anomalies of, like, say, the top three hitters and the top three pitchers in each league, and then go with the average of the next, top 20 after that. How I set up the scoring in this league was whatever the top hitters got, I would multiply that by what would meet the top pitcher, because pitchers go every 5 days. So I'd multiply hitters by 5 and see what they would go to, and it came about even. However, now it doesn't seem like it's like that anymore, because pitchers seldomly pitch complete games, much less shutouts, much less no hitters or perfect games. I mean, hell, they seldomly go past the sixth inning and get quality starts anymore. Now, there are still plenty that do, but it's not as rampant as it used to be. And so hitters are actually now starting to probably be a little bit more worth more than pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a pitcher that pitches 7 innings, like that's a win, right? That seems even rare, like you just said. So yeah, hitters are starting to become more valuable for sure. Let's next time we'll get Jason, we'll get Lloyd on here to talk about pitchers.
Yeah.
He loves pitchers.
He's lost half his pitching roster this year. But and we've heard, we've talked about it. We've heard that, maybe pitchers need to be worth a little bit more. I can't really see doing anything to pitchers to help that, except for maybe raising the quality start stat from maybe 3 points to 5 points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, this quality start is what really, in this league, out of all the stats pitchers get, is what gauges how good the pitcher is. Wins, if Skeen played for the Dodgers or just even a 500 or better team, he'd score 2 or 3 more points a game at least, if not 4 to 5 points a game. And you could say that for any good pitcher. So, who plays for a crappy team. So maybe raising the quality start points a point or two would help the actual better pitchers score a little bit more and even themselves back up with hitters.
Yeah, level the playing field a little bit. Yeah, yep.
And we usually don't change. There's not a lot of scoring change in the 15, 16 years, 17 years maybe that we've done these leagues. But that would be one I'd think about for sure. Might just do it. We'll see. But
yeah, I think the games have changed. As the games evolve with baseball, basketball, football, we usually try to stay on top of it and make sure things are still even across the board. So yeah, something we could discuss.
Let us know in the comments, all millions of people that listen to this. All right. So one of the guys, in this league is Ryan Henthorn. And I feel like Ryan Henthorn, this is a good segue into our manager profile segment of the video cast. I feel like Henthorn is always about a 500 ball club until about the last 3 or 4 regular season matchups of every season. And here, lo and behold, Henthorn's hot again. And, I'd say he's probably the hottest team in our fantasy league right now. And so, not to mention, Henthorn's just hot in general.
So hot.
But
so hot.
So Ryan Henthorn has been a part of this league, I would like to say, since its beginnings, even between the hiatus that we had in between leagues, and he always produces a strong team. He always does. Lot of pros about how Ryan Henthorn runs his teams.
Yeah, he is always in the mix for one of the top teams. Rarely see him finish at the bottom. He has it's funny, like when you look at his teams after the draft, you and I are always like, that's all right. But he ends up finishing towards the top every single time. I mean, he won baseball and football last year, right?
Killed it at football. Did he win baseball? I think he did win baseball. You're right.
I think he did. He was going for the trifecta in basketball, but we shut him down.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to point out though, there's a little something we call the old Henny ball, right?
It had to come up.
It had to.
I was going to say it in the next part when we talk about
So
trade ideologies, but a henny
you-
ball is a defined term in this league.
it's in the Webster's dictionary. You can search it on Wikipedia too. It's a known thing in the fantasy universe.
So, how would you define a henny ball in this league opposed to a low ball?
Well, you have your trades, right? You send somebody a trade, and you're always going to try to initially kind of low ball, right? Everybody knows what low ball is, just to see if the other manager will bite. Okay.
Unless your name's Trevor, who would trade 3 draft picks when he could have just traded them on St. Brown, right? Or Nash, who trades his top 3 picks every year.
I know.
Go.
So a henny ball is actually lower than a low ball. With a low ball, you kind of want to get some action, right? You're going to send a little bit of a low ball and hope that the other manager is like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But they'll respond and say, what about this, right? To throw a counter at you.
Or you at least have a little glimmer of hope that maybe they actually would want to do this trade, but
Right.
more than likely they're not. But you send them just enough to at least counter back with something, right?
Right. So the henny ball is a trade that you get and you look at it and you don't even know how to respond. Like there's no you don't even know how to counter it. It's so low and so outrageous. I think that at one point this year he offered me a deal. It was for like Vlad and a couple other guys, and all 3 of the guys he was trading me back were all on the DL. Right? So like there's an example. How can I even work with that?
Right.
You can't. So a henny ball is one that you see, you immediately reject, and you don't even attempt to counter.
Yeah.
And he's good at sending out, I would say, 3 to 4 of those a year.
Hey, I remember like 2013, Henthorne sent me this a classic henny ball that included Cole Hamels. And because Cole Hamels won the 2008 World Series MVP, that was the justification of why I should do that trade. Hey, I get it.
Oh,
It's Cole Hamels.
yep.
But yeah.
So henny balls aside, though, Ryan has been a consistent league manager in these leagues for a long time, and he's won 3 or 4 championships, I think. So overall, he usually has one of the better teams.
Hey, Endor's the man. He really
Despite
is.
his best efforts, he usually puts together a decent
I
team.
think if we put all these records together, Henthorne all time would probably be top 3.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, always successful. Never has Henthorne ever been a bottom feeder? I don't think so. I mean, he's always a bad year for Ryan Henthorne is 500.
Yep.
So,
And that's not bad, considering some of my baseball seasons I've had in the past.
yeah,
He
drafting,
yeah.
good history of winning, and Henthorne right now is probably the number 1. If we power ranked our whole leagues, probably Henthorne's with those last 2 championships. Probably number 1.
You know, luck is involved in these leagues, right?
Absolutely.
I would say if we were to power rank luck, Lloyd would be number one for sure.
Yeah.
I'd probably put Henthorn number two.
Henthorn would probably be the clear-cut number two.
I mean,
It's
just,
like, it's Lloyd, Henthorn, and then down here starts three through everybody else.
yeah, exactly.
It's that crazy.
Just for instance, he'll pick up a pitcher on a Sunday, and that pitcher will get him 35 points when he absolutely needs it, right? Where if anybody else would pick up that pitcher, they'd probably get -5 from him.
Right.
So, Penny, sprinkle some of that little lucky dust over here, would you?
Yeah.
Share the love, man.
Henthorn for at least sending out trades. Look, some might be henny balls. Some are just low balls.
Yeah.
And I get it. When you want to make a trade, you initiate it. Henthorn does that, unlike half of the rest of the league who forbid trades in their own life. But we'll get to that in a sec. But at least he sends trades out. But yeah, a lot of them are just like, well, I don't even want to respond. That was such a bad trade on him, right?
Right.
Like, we're not Derek Long. Most of us are.
Good old D Long. Oh boy.
But Henthorn's cooking right now. He's cooking again in baseball right now. So, and he's the defending champ in football. We're going to get this football preview pretty soon, but he's the team to beat.
Yep, absolutely. Got a target on his back.
Yep. And kudos to Henthorn. Thank you to Henthorn because he's hosted some drafts in the last few years in this awesome bachelor pad out at his place. And so I think probably not football for me, but maybe basketball we can all get out there again. And I'm sure Henthorn wouldn't mind if other people came. I know a lot of people have Eugene or Springfield ties. Most of us have Eugene or Springfield ties in these leagues. And maybe days we can all meet at Henthorn's. And we'll try not to be naked this time.
We'll keep our pants on. I promise, Eddie.
If you're new.
Tell Lindsay we're sorry. Also, I hope the Achilles recovery is going well, honey.
Yeah. But I care way more about Jason Tatum's Achilles.
Hey, Henthorn's in some elite company with Dame, Halliburton, and Tatum all going down with Achilles injuries.
Hey, I really fully think that Henthorn sacrificed his own Achilles so that Tatum and possibly Halliburton, possibly Lillard would be hurt, but definitely Tatum. I think that was masterclass evil genius by Ryan Henthorn to tear his own Achilles so Tatum would be hurt.
That's incredible dedication to these fantasy leagues.
I'm dead positive
about it. Hey, Henny, you never know what he's going to pull, man. You never know.
Now, speaking of trades, we wanted to go over a segment about trade ideology in the league. Because let's keep in mind, this isn't your standard scoring, redraft your whole roster type of league. This is a somewhat, not fully, dynasty league.
Yeah.
Where we keep 25% of our team every year. And so it's 7 in baseball, 4 in football, 3 in basketball. But because it's a dynasty league, there are some off-season allowable things that you can do. For instance, what Henthorn and Trevor just made that deal. Scott and Chris just made a football deal. Football season hasn't even started yet, but we allow off-season trades. And I know that might be a new way of doing things for people that haven't been in those types of leagues, but we allow it in this league. And we also allow trading future draft picks as well. Now the website doesn't allow you to completely trade those draft picks mid-season, but there is a draft pick trading option that the off-season website allows you to do. Plus, I can manually trade for all the trades, let's say, that happened last year in football. I can, every time I go and activate the league, I'll go and manually make the draft pick trades.
Right.
But it's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is those ideologies beyond those trades. They are allowable and it makes sense. For instance, Henthorne had a stacked team. I'm pretty sure he had his 4 keepers plus probably about 2 or 3 other guys that are keepable guys. But since you can only keep 4, 2 or 3 other guys would just go into the draft. But you are allowed to trade those guys, for instance, to a team like Trevor, who maybe has a couple, 2 or 3 keeper worthy guys and needed a good 4th person. And if somebody wants to sacrifice one of their draft picks to improve their 4 keepers, that's totally allowable.
Yep. Trades are interesting because being a dynasty league, you get a lot of these guys that are good that aren't available in the drafts, right? Usually people are going to be keeping most of the top players in some capacity. So if you want to get one of those good guys, to build your team around, you sometimes got to make lopsided trades or at least offer it. And it's interesting because there aren't, I would say probably what do you think, Zach? Half the league usually really doesn't make any trades or offer anything or anything like that. So it's always a little bit baffling to me because I'm like, man, if you want to quit being at the bottom, sometimes you might have to sacrifice a couple guys to get a couple good guys and sacrifice a year to be ready to go into that next year. But it seems like it just doesn't happen as often as you think it might.
Right. That's kind of what it is. So I can totally see, let's be honest about this too, is everybody has a different thought about if that trade was fair or not, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I could totally see 2 people making a trade and half the league thinking, oh yeah, that makes sense. And the other half of the league, oh, that's somebody got fleeced, right? So, but sometimes there's underlining meaning or reason why those 2 teams made that trade because of our league rules. So, for instance, like I'm just going to use Trevor, for example. He needed to rebuild his team and he'd cost a little bit of his future to do it. So we'll see if you just look at the player names in the trade, it could look really lopsided. Because when you get that notification saying there was a trade accepted in our league, you look at it, see the players' names, and think, what? So and so screwed so and so over. But for some reason, ESPN, well, it would be for some reason because you can't ask for the draft picks on the website mid-season. So a lot of times there's maybe a side text between 2 people or something where someone's offered a draft pick in that trade. I'd say 9 times out of 10 that is the case. Right. So, or someone's just trying to improve their keepers, So, I mean, I've made trades before where I've traded the best player in the trade for 2 or 3 guys at the trade deadline that are going to fill my weak spots on the rest of my roster, knowing I have a lot of depth at the position the guy traded away had. And so now my team's just way more complete. Yeah, it cost me a better player, but it was worth it, so
round your team out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I thought, I was like, oh, well, I have another guy I could keep to cover that guy too, or something like that. But so yeah, a lot of times it looks funny.
Yep.
But I mean, at the end of the day, 2 people, you got to accept the trade and the other person has to send the trade. So they both have to agree to the deal, or you just decline the deal. So there had to be, each person had a reason to accepting that trade. So,
Yeah, exactly. We're all individuals. We all have our own idea of how we want to run our team. We all have our own idea of, who we want, guys we want to target. And kind of like you said, sometimes it might make sense to everybody, sometimes it might not. And I think for that reason, we don't put trades to a league vote like some leagues do, because we just think, hey, we're all grown-ups. We all got money invested in this. We all invest time. And if they want to make that kind of deal, who are we to say no? You know what I mean? And I think the super lopsided trades that maybe happened some years ago, we're just really not seeing those that much anymore. I think, we've got a solid core of managers in here. And
no players.
yeah, people that know players, I think sometimes when you put it to a league vote, then other personal aspects can come into it. I might be like, man, this is some bullshit. Zach over here, I don't want Zach to have this guy because the team's gonna be better. So I'm gonna decline. I'm gonna vote no on this, or whatever it is.
It
So
would be completely subjective. And
yeah,
gone are the, also we used to have it where, um, a trade would go through, but then I would have to approve the trade to go through. And now we just go through automatically, which is, to me, is fine. At the end of the day, two people agree to it, so who cares?
right, right.
Um, I will say on the front page, I do have a little disclaimer about trades, just so everybody knows. Oh, I don't have it on the front page. It must be on the football front page. Just know that one of our rules is if you make a trade with somebody, now everyone in these leagues, we're going to keep playing them year after year after year. This is how the league is ran. We've always done this since like 2007, 8, the same kind of way. If someone wants to join a standard league, they can join a standard league. But just about everybody in this league, me, you, Nash, not just about everyone, Scott, Todd, knows how it's ran, and we're all good, right?
Right.
But if someone were to leave the league, that draft pick gets vetoed. So it sucks
Yes.
for the person that made the trade. But, for instance, if like I have a second round pick in football this year, if Nash were to leave the league, I wouldn't have that pick anymore. It would suck for me. But that's just how we do it, because someone's going to take that place, and they don't want to take that place not having a draft pick, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, thanks for joining. By the way, you don't have a second round pick.
So keep that in mind. Other thing, if someone were to, let me use Nash as an example because he's notorious for trading draft picks, which is fine. That's his ideology. But
Almost
if,
won the
for
baseball
instance,
championship last year.
yeah. For instance, if Nash, like for instance, basketball this year, Nash doesn't have his top 3 picks. So, but let's just say Nash forgot, the other person didn't know, and Nash said, "Hey, let's make this basketball trade, and I'll give you my 3rd round pick." Well, that pick would automatically fall to the 4th round pick, because Nash doesn't have a 3rd round pick. So just know that if you're trading with a person that's trying to trade you a draft, if they don't have that draft pick, it falls to the next pick down.
Right.
But at the same time, if let's say Nash had a 2nd and 3rd round pick, or he traded away his 2nd and 3rd round, but still has his 1st, and the guy offered a 2nd round pick, and I guess we haven't really discussed this, but I almost think that's Nash's bad, or that's the person who doesn't have the picks bad for offering them a 2nd and 3rd. So really, that person would get a 1st round pick.
Yeah.
What way you want to go with it?
Yeah.
You got to know what picks you got rid of, right? So now I keep running list on the side, and maybe what I could do is anytime there's draft pick trading, I could add it to the front page. That way it's
there
like
you go.
on a notes thing. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess I
just have record of it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what we're talking about here is everyone has a different ideology of why they will or will not make a trade. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've offered someone a trade and I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to decline this. It's a perfect fair trade, and they end up declining it. And it could be for anything. Could be they just like the guy. Could be the guy plays for their favorite team. It could be whatever. So, but yeah, there's a reason people make trades, and there's a reason people don't. So yeah, do I wish everybody would make more trades? Because trust me, I give a big round of applause when I see someone besides me, Nash, or you that make a trade. it's really nice. And then sometimes Henthorne, Scott,
but if we see like a
get into it, that's fine.
Reeves and Trevor making a trade, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Like, oh man, Brad and Reeves made a trade. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it. Keep it up. I wish we had a rule where we had to do a minimum of 3 trades a year.
I know.
I mean, trades are fun, my opinion.
Dude, half the fun of these leagues is the draft, and the other part is just, trying to make trades to construct your team.
Yeah.
Maybe you sell high, sell low, try to buy low, buy high, all that kind of stuff, man. Can we talk about real quick fear being a factor in trades?
Yeah, because I was going to segue into that because I was just going to say to all you non-traders, it'd probably be a good thing to get yourself out of the gutter or get yourself away from 500, make some trades. Sometimes, like you said, you got to risk possibly a little bit of the future or getting rid of a guy who's been consistent, but hey, it might help overall. And draft picks are allowed to be traded. So hey, trade some of your guys for draft picks. The trade deadline is perfect for that. But yeah, fear, Kevin, what do you think about that?
There's always a steady dose of fear, right? When you hit send or you hit accept, because you're like, oh man, am I making the right move here? Should I be doing this? Should I not? But sometimes the fear can be crippling to some managers. And I'm going to highlight 2 managers right now who are so terrified to make trades that it's handicapping their ability to win. Number 2 on that list is going to be Twad himself. I think we've touched on this in the past. Todd is always terrified to make trades because he'll conjure up some weird ideas in his head. Like, oh, well, if I trade, if I get Vlad from you, Kevin, like, what if he goes on this all vegan diet and loses a bunch of weight, can't hit home runs anymore? I'm like, maybe, Todd, that's weird, but yeah, I guess that's probably a small possibility. So you have Todd that conjures up all these weird, like, potential scenarios that are really never going to come true, but in his mind, they're 100% going to come true. But I probably have to give the number 1 fear spot to our guy, Jason Lloyd. I think Jason lives his life with a steady dose of fear in general every day.
It's too bad we offered him a football team too, and he got scared.
He was too frightened to join the league.
Yeah.
But I would probably give him the number 1 spot when it comes to fear and making trades.
Well, and the other thing is like, okay, you're going to make a trade and you're going to trade someone who's not playing to their full advantage or full capacity of how good they can be, right? But then you remember 3 years ago, that 1 year, they were top 5 MVP. And you think, oh, what if they go back to that, right? Can't live your life like that.
Or what if I get this guy who's doing awesome and all of a sudden he just, starts to slump and this and that. I imagine Jason just sweaty palms, swamp ass as he sits there in the nude reviewing these trades.
Like Derek did.
Jason, I'll give you a big hug next time I see you, buddy. Don't be so scared.
Start making the trade.
Let's go.
Done it. He had like 15 good hitters. He could have made a couple trades for pitchers.
Yeah, he's been beat up. His pitchers have gotten destroyed by injuries this year. I will give him that.
That's where the bad luck comes in.
Yeah.
Still, you need him.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about in our trade discussion?
No, I think we covered it. I think we got it covered.
Okay. All right, everyone, start making some trades, but send to me first.
Yes.
So, all right. Football draft coming up. So March 26th, Tuesday, March 26th, 6 o'clock Pacific time for a couple of people that I think don't live in our time zone, like Scott, maybe somebody else. Maybe that's another league. Batuli, but he's in basketball. Yeah, December 26th. Henthorn's the defending champ. And well, should we get right into the lottery?
Let's do it, man.
All right, let me share my screen. Hello.
Zach, did you finish second last year?
Yeah. Or beat me in the championship. So
Henny Magic.
last year, we had 4 teams that finished 4-10. And remember, in our lottery, only the bottom 3 teams get 10 balls. The fourth worst team gets 8, and then 6 and 3, 2, 1. And to rehash, if you make the semifinals in these leagues, you don't get a lottery ball. That just ends 9, 10, 11, and the 12th pick in the first round. Anyway, Brad was the best out of the 4-10 teams. ESPN has a tiebreaker scenario. You can just Google ESPN fantasy tiebreakers, and the page will literally come up, and you can read all about it. The first tiebreaker is win-loss record. Obviously, the next is win-loss record versus the other teams that have the same record as you, and then the next is total offensive scoring. Your team's total points, not taking into consideration what teams have scored against you. And so that's why Brad, you have the 4th best chances at least to get the number 1 pick. But anyway, and then there's the rest is last year's final regular season standings. Yeah, Henny beat me in the championship. I think he scored 500 points a week for the last few weeks, and
Killed it last week. Yeah. Killed it down the stretch.
what it is. So based on this, so I played Henthorn. Kevin, you played Scott in the semifinals. No, that's wrong.
No.
I played Scott. Henthorn played you.
Right.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is us 4 don't have a ball in this lottery. And so this is what it looks like.
There we go.
Without further ado, let's see who has this year's 8 lottery picks. Now, before I get into this, there's a caveat to this for the first time ever. I think I'm going to write here. It's actually going to be Reeves via Nash. So Nash
right.
is the first round pick. Reeves has the opportunity, 2 opportunities at the first overall pick.
I mean, we could see Reeves could potentially end up with the 1st and 2nd overall pick.
Very possible. All right. Well, without further ado.
Oh, so excited.
Here we are. So, remember, it's going to be 12th, Henthorn, me, 11, you, Kevin, 10th pick, Scott, 9th pick, right?
Right.
Yep. And with the 8th pick of the 2025 lottery, we'll go to Reeves. This was Nash's pick. So, Reeves, you have the 8th overall pick. Boy, it would
Nice.
suck for Reeves if one of the next 2 picks was Reeves again. Even though
I know. Brutal.
But with the 7 pick, Todd. He's got a pretty strong team. I think got some good running backs with Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. Who's his quarterback?
He had Mayfield. Baker killed last year.
Baker, yeah. Yeah. So, number 6, John. Number 5, Brad. Ooh. Who had 2 balls? Well, we all have 2 balls.
Reed. Except for Raymond Davis.
No one knows him here.
I think Reed had 2.
Reed had 2. Yep, Reed had 2. Reed's still alive. So with the 4th pick. Oh, there he is. Reed. Hey, Reed, you jumped up 3 spots, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Add to your Lamar Jackson build team there. You would have been picking 7th, instead you picked 4th. It's the beauty of the lottery. So we have 2 guys with 10 balls, and no, everyone with 10 balls are still left. I think this is the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
So, all right, with the 3rd pick, so we got what? Reeves, Trevor, and
Chris.
So with the 3rd overall pick, we'll go to Trevor. So with the 2nd overall pick, which will tell us the first between Reeves and Chris for that number 1 pick, but number 2 will go to Chris, and number 1 will go to Reeves.
We'll go to Reeves.
Reeves,
wow,
golden opportunity. Opportunity. So there's your. Let's just go back. Let's just go check out Reeves' team really fast. Here's Reeves' team.
Okay, he's got neighbors in there.
Doesn't look like he's
chain
numbers yet. Oh, you know what? We can see. Oh, I guess we can't see. Not be logged in or something. But yeah, I think he's gonna keep neighbors for sure.
We'll keep a chain
for sure. Probably Tyreek Hill. Garrett Wilson too. I mean, I honestly don't see. Oh, Jameson Williams. I forgot I got him. Yeah, you're probably not keeping Richardson at this point. That's probably it.
I just heard that they named. What's the quarterback's name for the Giants last year?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they just named him the starter in Indianapolis. So yeah, golden opportunity for Reeves here.
Yeah, golden opportunity for Reeves. And Reeves should probably draft Daniel Jones with that 1st overall pick. Yeah, this is your lottery, guys. This is the draft order to start the year. I'll put this on the front page as well, and I will also change the draft order on the football site. That pretty much concludes our segment. Kevin, anything else you want to add?
No, we just crushed it as usual, man.
Yeah. We'll do this again in about a month for basketball too.
Also, I can't wait for Reeves' feedback on our podcast.
I know. Our number 1 fan.
Number 1 fan for sure.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Later.